Hey, you're in the garage, Vic Ferrari. I have got a killer deal for you. Yesterday, I did a video on a welder comparison with the Harbor Freight Chicago Electric Flux 125 welder. Right there. It's a 110 volt welder, 125 amp, and I compared it on a 3/8 piece of steel with my 110 volt, let's see what amp this is. It doesn't actually say, but I think this is a 110 amp 120 volt flux core welder. Now this is a 1990. It's got low and high heat and speed. That's it. It blew the Chicago-Matic out of the water. Did I just call it a Chicago-Matic? What the hell is that? It's a Chicago Electric. So, here's what I'm going to suggest to you. That welder is $100, a little more with tax. And it did not hold up. I would never weld anything that I had to do other than some hobby. But I weld my whole suspension together, these shock mounts, all that, with the Century, and it gives beautiful welds. You're never going to break those. And the Chicago Electric, I would never touch my sandrail with it. But here's the killer deal. The big brother to this welder is right here. And I picked this up today on OfferUp for $75 with the stroller. If that's what you want to call it, I don't know. This is my new baby, so that may as well be a stroller. Here's what was wrong with it. They said, yeah, it works, but it won't feed. So I went over, checked it out, arced it a few times on it to make sure it welded. And this little feeder right here, you can pull it off, and if you look at it, you can see it says 0.35 or 0.30 for your wire. And they had it flipped over to 0.24 and it couldn't grab the wire to feed it. So I flipped it back over, put it back on, and this thing welds like a champ. And let me show you what you get. That welder over there gives you heat, low and high switch, and wire feed. This one, I can reverse the polarity to weld aluminum. It will weld aluminum, says it right there. I can set it for stitch welds, spot welds, normal welds. I can set my weld time, I can set my stitch time. I can set my wire speed. I can set my amps low and high, which is basically what that one over there has for heat range. But then I can also adjust my heat to fine tune it. Holy cow, $74. And I'd already tried this welder out on the same 3/8 piece of steel, and it seriously burned into it. Even though it's 110, it burned into it better than that one. So I went from junk to excellent to freaking awesome. And I spent $74. And you're going to buy a Harbor Freight for 110 that can't even weld? All right. OfferUp, look around. I even saw a Miller today for 250 bucks that would smoke this one. But I love this welder, so I went with the $74 and went and got that. But I mean, $250 for a Miller? Holy cow. And it was brand new. It was in Sun City where all the old people are. So I'm sure some old guy bought it. He probably stared at it a few times, welded, bzz, 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 couple of shots on something, and then he probably freaking died because he's in Sun City. Go check OfferUp before you go to Harbor Freight. So, Vic Ferrari, happy as a clam. Oh, it's my 50th birthday. And this is my present. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.